Hi. Remember me?
Stranger from the outside.
So it's been a while, like over a year. Okay, so basically, I kind of just dropped off the bookternet. Not completely, I still had my Twitter, but like I don't really use Twitter anymore. I don't even like watch BookTube that much anymore. I've been getting back into it. But me and books and the book world just kind of parted. I actually don't have any bookcases in my room anymore. It was a whole thing. We're not going to go into it. But yeah, the short version, I just got very overwhelmed. I think I spoke about it a bit in one of my last videos, which I think it was the one where it was like a place for me, and I was all like, yeah, I'm gonna make content, it just won't be bookish. And then I realised that I had made my entire personality and existence about books, and did not know what the hell else to do if I wasn't making book content, so I just did nothing. And it has now been over a year, and I have this little niggle. There's this little voice in my ear that's like, do you want to make videos again? Videos would be cool. Oh, I kind of miss books. Honestly, what did it for me was I was in Asda the other night. Last night. Time is a concept I do not understand, okay? But I was in Asda and they had this one book, and it was Ryan LaSala's new book. And I think it's behind me. It is. Look at this cover. Look at this cover. It is stunning. And I was absolutely distraught that I did not know this gorgeous thing existed. Some things never change, do they? It'll stop in a second. Thank you. Seeing this book on a shelf, with my having no knowledge of its existence, it just struck something in me where I was just like, I miss being informed about books. I miss knowing the new books. I go into Waterstones like 2 or 3 times a year now, and I look at the books on like the YA shelves and I'm just like, I've not heard of you before, I don't know you. I miss knowing. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Ryan LaSala's book, we're here to talk about me. Basically, to cut a long story short, I just had this niggle to make content. I went on NetGalley last night and I was looking at all the upcoming releases and all these names I haven't heard of. Like, I was clicking on books and being like, oh, this sounds cool, is it a debut? And they're like, oh, this author that's got like 3 books out now that you didn't hear about because you completely lost touch with books. And I want to make it clear, like, I'm not like, basically I moved away from BookTube and the bookternet because I just felt very overwhelmed by it. And it became like a chore to know everything that was going on. But I feel like now I am coming to this with a more like content mindset where I miss knowing everything, but I'm not going to burn myself out for the sake of redundant knowledge. It's more just that I want that little bit of community back. I want that, like, the little friendships and things. I didn't lose, like, a lot of friendships, don't get me wrong. Like, there were people that I spoke to in the height of BookTube days that I still speak to. Maybe not every single day, but I still speak with them. But I do just miss having that, like, connection. I miss the like, live streams and the reading sprints, which I don't even know if they still happen. I think I've seen a couple, but I did unfollow pretty much, like, unsubscribe to like every booktuber apart from maybe like 5, so I don't see a lot anymore because I really needed that break. But Hannah from Lidette M is doing Gothtober again, and I want to be involved, and I want to feel like I'm part of the community and not just like a little outsider looking in. So I don't know, I kind of want to make some content again, and I kind of just want to, I don't know, I just want to be here. And like, that's what I wanted to do last year, but it didn't happen last year because I was, and I still to an extent, I'm in a strange place in life. I'm very much figuring things out. Again, like, people, I don't know who's all still stuck around. I know, like, when people stop making content, people disappear. So, you know, you might not even have known me before. This might be the first video of mine you're seeing, but for those that don't know, or for those that have forgotten, I'm autistic. I'm also chronically ill, and I completely forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, that was it, because I took my break. Yeah, so basically I'm still like I'm still figuring a lot about myself out and like who I am and what I want to do, and it's a whole thing. And I think last year I just really needed to like take a break. I needed to completely step back and be like, you know, where's your head at? Like, how much do books actually matter to you? And it's a whole thing. And I could sit and do like a massive video talking about it, but like, again, like I still don't know like a lot. I'm just winging my way through life. I don't know. But last year I needed a break and I just needed some space and some perspective on everything. Whereas, as I say, now I feel like I can make content, I can engage with book content, I can like look at upcoming releases, and I don't have this innate like, you need to be reading everything, you need to be buying all of these books and you need to have them all. I've only read 15 books this year. My goal's 40, which is way lower than it usually is, because at the start of the year, I was still like, yeah, books, woo. Totally toned it down. Literally, I got a copy of Elle McNichol's book, Like a Charm. I was sent it, not even for a review, I was just sent it because they were like, hey, you've supported Elle, you're autistic, enjoy. And it took me 6 months to read it, because I was just so overwhelmed and burnt out with books. I just didn't want to engage with them. It was a whole thing. Finished the book and fucking loved it. But yeah, I've only read 15 books so far this year. The last book I read was actually Akemi Don Bowman's upcoming release, Where the Lost Ones Go. I believe that's the full title. And I read it in about 2 days, and that's really where like my little like spark of, yes, we love books and we want to talk about books again, kind of came from. And the book comes out next month. So, you know, it feels like a good time to start getting back into the swing of things so I can start hyping up Akemi's book. I don't know if I'm allowed to say. There's something about Akemi's book that I'm very excited about. So once I know other people have arcs and stuff, maybe I'll find out. But I love that I fucked off for like a year and yet somehow I'm still like, oh yes, I know something. I have a secret, but I can't tell you, like some sort of fucking influencer. It's nothing exciting to anyone but me. I'm sure this video is going to get a whopping like 10 views, so I could just tell you, but I'm not going to. I don't want to, no spoilers. Can you tell I've not done this for like a year? Because I can. But anyway, I went out to some charity shops today, and because I knew I was going to make this video when I got home, just because I wanted to do something, I did a little vlog. It's just a little like montagey vlog. It's probably not even like a minute long, because I don't think I got an awful lot of footage. This guy makes an appearance because I found him in a charity shop and I needed him. I think he's a chinchilla. He's handmade, but I'm obsessed with him. If you don't know, I breed rats. Oh, you don't know because I wasn't breeding rats the last time I was here. I own rats and I breed rats. I also have a field mouse I hand raised. Gus is on this channel. So yeah, love a rodent, even if it's a chinchilla. Love a rodent. But yeah, there's a little montage. It's gonna come up, and then I figured we'd do a little book haul, because that'll be fun, right? Books today, which little more than I intended. I was kind of only like aiming to get maybe 1 or 2, if it was like 1 or 2 I've had my eye on or like heard of or something, but I was vlogging and I knew I was gonna do a haul, and I guess the old book tube, like, oh, you better have some books, kind of creeped in. My reading tastes are changing. I think I might surprise some of you. If you recall my previous reading tastes, I was very much a middle grade reader and a mystery reader. Like YA middle grade mysteries. That's my jam. It still is my jam, although I have ventured a little bit into adult books. The Appeal by, is it Janice Hewlett or something like that? Impeccable. But yeah, I do feel like I'm expanding on my reading. Anyway, this is the haul. Let's get into the haul. So these are not really in any order. It's how I pull them out the bag. So first up I have, oh my god, I just feel so strange. It's so familiar but so far away from me to be holding my book and being like, I have this. Sorry, I'm a little bit giddy. I feel very strange. I do feel like I'm masking. Listen, I'm just a little bundle of at the minute, but we'll ease into it. It's fine. We'll figure it out. So I have The Accidental Medium by Tracy Whitwell, which is about a girl who, she's getting herself a new job, I guess, and turns out she can hear voices, and it turns out she's actually from a long line of psychic mediums. And then there's murder, and I'm assuming a ghost has been murdered, and she's got to figure out who they are or who they were, and like convince the police that the person was murdered and solve the crime. Sounds like fun. I've seen this in Asda a few times and been like, don't buy it. So it was in a charity shop, so I bought it, as you do. Then I grabbed Cloud Busting by Mallory Blackman. I love clouds, if you don't know, and Toy Story Aliens. I did just scrape my face with that book. Anyway, Cloud Busting by Mallory Blackman. I saw Cloud and I was like, oh. But this is a novel in verse, which I do love a novel in verse. Oh, it's got illustrations. It does have quite a big font, so I think it's maybe intended for a slightly younger audience, but we don't care here. And it's basically the story of an extraordinary friendship, which is beautiful, funny, and sad. I got With This Kiss by Carrie Hope Fletcher. Again, if you recall, I have read one of Carrie's books. I read On the Other Side, and it made me cry, and I cry quite a bit nowadays, but I didn't back then, and it made me cry. And so I've got quite a few of Carrie's books. I've just never actually read any of the other ones, but this was in the shop. It is also signed. It's signed to Georgina. I'm not Georgina, but you know. Carrie writes romance, and I feel like I turned 25 and very suddenly got not very interested in romance, but I like to read a bit of romance now. Listen, it's hard for me to say as well, because I was so not about romance in books. Like, I used to get so mad when I would be reading like a nice young YA mystery and then somebody would have to go and kiss someone. Very irritating. I've been buying like new adult romance, like adult romance books that nobody would have ever said Emmanovella wants to read that. So I've not read them yet, but I've bought some. It made sense to get an author that I know I've liked before and get a genre. Also, I think what I like about Carrie is she does that sort of fabulism type thing. So basically this is a romance, but our main character, when she kisses someone, can see how they die. So it's got that sort of magical element to it, which I enjoy. I'm keen. Listen, if I read any of these by the end of the year, be impressed. Penultimately, we have The Retreat by Sherry Smith. The cover grabbed me, orange and blue. Love it. Apparently it's got a twisty plot. What grabbed me is, obviously it's about a retreat, but it's this girl who was a child star, but then her manager permanently scarred her face, because don't know why. And now she's 27 and she wants to have a better answer to the clickbait "Where Are They Now" articles. She goes to a wellness retreat upstate with her brother's fiance and two best friends. It's going to drudge up memories, and they've all got secrets to hide. And at the end of the weekend, only one will be left standing. I love books set in like boarding schools, summer camps, retreats, things like that. So, and I want more. I got rid of a whole load of like thrillers back in February when I got rid of my bookshelves and put all my books in a cupboard. But I got rid of loads of the thrillers because, I mean, to be fair, they were all like sort of 2010 to like 14 thrillers. And I guess like I just didn't care anymore. But I feel like the more modern ones, I guarantee I look at the publication date and it's like 2019. Okay, see, I feel like the more like current thrillers are better, maybe. I don't know. I bought this envisioning myself on a sun lounger by a pool at a hotel in Spain, despite not having such a trip booked. So maybe this is a next year read. And finally, I I don't even have an excuse for this. You know when you see a book on the shelf, you see the spine and you're like, oh, that looks interesting. So I pulled it out. The Winds Are Not by S.J. Bennett. I was like, cool. Now there were stickers all up here, so I couldn't read Her Majesty the Queen Investigates. But I turned it round and just saw this picture of the Queen. And for context, today, as of filming, is 2 days after the Queen died. And everywhere you go, shops have printed out pictures that are like poster things that are like, you know, rest in peace and the dates, and then all the digital billboards. Literally the digital bits and tills were having like her picture, and it's just, she's everywhere, which, you know, I get it, she's the Queen. But it just felt like, well, I gotta buy it now, don't I? And it's literally, the Queen enjoys a cup of tea and solves a murder. I'm no royalist. I have a whole host of thoughts and feelings about the whole situation we don't need to go into. But the thought of the Queen solving murders does tickle me. So I just felt like I had to do it. It felt wrong to have pulled this off the shelf and gone, oh, it's the Queen, and just chucked her back in. So I bought it. I'm sorry. It's timing. Ugh, it's been a while since I've held up so many books at once. Those are the 5 books that I bought. Let's pause for a thumbnail. Let's get Charles in. I don't know. Charles the Chinchilla. Oh, but that's the king's name. I promise I'm not a royalist. But yeah, that's it. This was definitely... That's not right. That's squint, but whatever. I was trying to say this is not as quick as I hoped it would be, but like... tough. It never is with me, is it? But I'm here, I'm back. I might never make another video again, or maybe I will. Who knows? Not me. I just wanted something to do, I guess. But anyway, hello. I'm still alive, and who knows when I'll be here next and what the video content will be. But this was fun. So, bye.